Imagine starting a new night shift at an empty mall. Just you, the cameras, and a list of strange rules that don't make any sense. Don't look at the mannequins after midnight. If you hear an escalator running, don't investigate. If someone knocks between 4 and 4:30 a.m., do not open the door. Sounds ridiculous, right? That's what I thought. Until the mannequins started moving. Until the escalator ran by itself. Until something that looked human knocked on my door. I was just a security guard trying to make it through the night. But in this mall, the night was never meant to end. I've worked as a security guard for years, mostly at small stores and gas stations. The job wasn't exciting, but it paid the bills. When I saw an ad for a night shift at the local mall with great pay, I jumped at the chance. The hours were decent, 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., and I figured it would be an easy gig, just watching cameras and doing rounds in an empty mall. How hard could it be? I applied and got a call the next day from the manager, Mr. Hensley, asking if I could come in for an interview. It felt rushed, but I needed the job. The interview was brief. He barely seemed to listen as he ran through my duties. Check cameras every 15 to 30 minutes. Patrol hourly. Make sure nothing's out of place. Then he asked, "Can you start tonight?" That caught me off guard. Most jobs do background checks, paperwork, at least a delay, but I wasn't about to argue. I said yes. Hensley looked relieved. "The last few guards didn't last. I hope you'll be different." That statement unsettled me. But before I could ask, he handed me the keys and sent me home to rest before my shift. When I arrived at the mall, it was eerily empty. The parking lot was nearly deserted, the building looming in silence. A chill ran down my spine, but I shook it off as nerves. Hensley met me at the employee entrance, walked me through the basics again, then casually added, "Keep an eye on the escalators in the play area. Things happen there sometimes." I asked what he meant, but he just waved it off. "Kids sneaking in. You'll see." His tone made me uneasy. Once alone in the security office, I settled in, flipping through the cameras. Everything was still, the mall an empty shell of its daytime self. That's when I felt a presence behind me. I jumped, heart racing. It was just the janitor, grinning at my reaction. "Didn't mean to scare you," he said. "You must be the new guy." I chuckled nervously. "Yeah, didn't know there was a janitor at night. They keep one of us around. Just make sure you follow the rules." His tone shifted to something serious. He handed me a crumpled piece of paper. "These aren't from the manager. These are the real rules." I unfolded it, expecting a joke. The list was anything but funny. 1. Check cameras every 15 to 30 minutes, but don't stare too long. 2. Never look directly at mannequins after midnight. If they move, leave immediately. 3. If a mannequin looks like it's following you, don't look back. 4. Avoid mirrors in the restroom. 5. If you hear talking in an abandoned store, do not listen. 6. If you hear a child laughing in the play area, leave immediately. 7. If the time on your watch moves backward, return to the security office immediately. I looked up at the janitor, uneasy. "You're serious?" His grin was gone. "Follow the rules or you won't make it through the night." I stuffed the paper in my pocket, brushing it off. But as I started my rounds, the mall felt wrong. Shadows stretched too long. The silence was too heavy. Then, in a clothing store, I noticed something. A mannequin had moved. I told myself I was imagining things until I heard fabric rustling. When I turned back, the mannequin had changed position again. My blood ran cold. "All right, who's messing with me?" I called. No answer. Just the soft shuffle of movement behind me. Then came the footsteps. Normal ones, heavy, scraping like wood against tile. I didn't turn around. I remembered rule number 3. I walked faster. The sound followed. I forced myself to ignore it. After a few moments it stopped. Relief flooded me, until I heard something else. An escalator running. My heart sank. Rule number 10. If you hear an escalator running, do not investigate. Watch the cameras. I bolted back to the security office, locked the door, and checked the monitors. My stomach twisted. A figure stood on the escalator. Too tall, limbs too long. Its movements were jerky, unnatural. Then it turned its head, and it looked straight at the camera. The monitors flickered. A loud buzzing filled the room. My shift had only just begun, and I was already fighting to make it to morning. I snapped my gaze away from the screen, remembering Rule 1, don't stare at the footage for too long. Buzzing stopped almost instantly. When I glanced back at the monitors, the escalator was empty. The figure was gone. My hands trembled as I leaned back in my chair. I couldn't do this anymore. My nerves were shot, and the rules, those cursed rules, felt like a cruel joke meant to break me. But I just had to make it through the night. Just a few more hours. The next stretch of time passed in silence. I stayed locked in the security office, too shaken to do another round. Monitors showed the same empty hallways, the still stores, the unmoving escalator. Everything looked calm. But the air in the office felt thick, suffocating. Then came the knock. 3 sharp raps against the door. My heart leapt into my throat. I turned to the monitors to check the hallway outside. Nothing. But the knocking continued. Hey, how's the night going? Still think the rules are funny? Janitor, or at least his voice. Rule 8 flashed in my mind. Lock the security office door between 4 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. Do not open it for anyone if they knock. I glanced at the clock. 4:03 a.m. I checked the cameras again. The hallway was empty, but the knocking grew louder, more insistent. Come on, open up. I'll tell you what's really going on. I hovered near the handle, my breath shallow. It sounded like him, but I knew better than to trust my instincts now. The knocking stopped. I exhaled shakily. Then the janitor appeared on the monitor, right outside the door, grinning. But something was wrong. His body shimmered, like smoke. Then he vanished. The clock read 4:30 a.m. I stood, my legs aching from sitting so long. I needed to move, to shake off the lingering dread. The mall was eerily silent, the flickering fluorescent lights casting shifting shadows. I kept my gaze low, avoiding the mannequins, the dark storefronts. Then I saw him, the janitor, leaning casually against a wall, grinning. The real janitor. At least I hoped. Rough night? He asked, his voice light, almost teasing. I swallowed hard. Could say that. He tilted his head. You followed the rules, didn't you? I tried, I admitted. What is this place? Why these rules? He chuckled, but it was hollow. Rules keep you safe. There's more going on here than you understand. What do you mean? I asked, stepping back. You'll figure it out. Or maybe you won't. His grin widened. Either way, there's no escaping it. He turned and walked away, disappearing down the corridor. I followed, desperate for answers. But when I rounded the corner, he was gone. Then I heard it. A woman's soft, muffled sobs. My stomach dropped. Rule 9. If you hear crying in a dressing room, do not open the door. The sobbing grew louder, pulling me toward it. It didn't sound right. More like a recording than a real person. I forced myself to turn away. But then she appeared on the monitor, a pale woman, hair hanging limply over her face, floating, drifting toward the dressing room entrance, shoulders shaking with silent sobs. Then she vanished. The crying started again, right behind me. I ran. Back in the security office, I locked the door, chest heaving. The monitor showed her, outside, hovering closer, her movements jerky, unnatural. Then came the knocking. Soft at first, then louder, more forceful. The entire door shook. Hey, open up. It's the manager. Mr. Hensley. I checked the clock. 6:01 a.m. My shift was over. I checked the camera. He was there. Just him. No ghostly figures, no eerie grins. With a shaking hand, I unlocked the door. Mr. Hensley frowned. You look like you've seen a ghost. I let out a hollow laugh. Something like that. Then I asked, What about the janitor? His brows furrowed. What janitor? I felt my stomach drop. The one who gave me the rules. His face turned serious. There's no night janitor. No one works here at night but you. I handed him my keys and walked out, never looking back. Some places are better left alone. And that mall, it was one of them. What would you do if you found a list of eerie, unexplained rules on your first night at work? Would you follow them? Or risk finding out what happens if you don't? Let me know in the comments. And if you love creepy stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because things are only going to get scarier here on Creepy Hive. Fire Eye.